Hi everyone, I'm Mike Green, Public Information Officer in the Allen County Commissioner's Office, and welcome to this edition of CountyLine. Well, across the nation in times of intense personal crisis and community-wide disasters, the first access point for those seeking all classes of emergency services is 911. The Consolidated Communications Partnership Center that receives these calls locally has emerged as the first and single point of contact for persons seeking immediate relief during an emergency. The CCP recently celebrated the second full week of April as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. Officials from Allen County and the city of Fort Wayne used this opportunity to honor the men and women who respond to emergency calls, dispatch emergency professionals and equipment, and render life-saving assistance to the citizens of our community.
Good afternoon. I'm Rich Beck from the Allen County Commissioners. I'd like to thank you all for attending here today to join us in proclaiming this Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, April 14th through the 20th. This is sponsored by the Association of Public Safety Communication Officials International. Basically, we're honoring the thousands of men and women who serve the country in responding to emergency calls, dispatching emergency professionals and equipment, and rendering life-saving assistance to the citizens of the United States. We're taking this opportunity to acknowledge the efforts of these folks as they stand behind me. I have several other folks that would like to make a couple of comments as well. Prior to that, I'm going to read the actual proclamation from the city and the county, and then we'll start with our speakers. This joint proclamation of the City of Fort Wayne and the Allen County Board of Commissioners, whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, emergency, and medical services. Whereas an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. Whereas the safety of our police officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the Fort Wayne and Allen County Emergency Communications Center. Whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas public safety telecommunicators of the Consolidated Communications Partnership have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job. Now, therefore, the Mayor of the City of Fort Wayne and the Board of Commissioners of the County of Allen, Indiana, hereby proclaim the week of April 14th through 20th, 2019, as the Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in Fort Wayne and Allen County in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our communities and citizens safe. Our first speaker is today is the Honorable Mayor Tom Henry of the City of Fort Wayne.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good afternoon. You know, it's often said that you can judge a community by the way that it treats its citizens. And unquestionably, when Fort Wayne and Allen County had the ability to offer 911 services and to be able to bring to our residents an easy, quick ability to access emergency services, we jumped on that as quick as we could. And since that first happened, we've grown considerably. And those professionals standing behind me certainly deserve a tremendous amount of gratitude from our community. I've seen the operation. I told them a few minutes ago, last time I was over there and I saw all the activity going on, it intimidated me so much I don't want to go back. It truly is an atmosphere that is very intense, but they handled it with calm, with ease, and with professionalism. And that's what we need in the community and in a county our size, is to have professionals like we have being able to take the calls from those citizens who are in need. So it's a joy to be here today. It's a joy to be able to designate an entire week to honor those who are in the emergency service field and those who truly have dedicated themselves to telecommunications to make sure that our citizens are safe. So thank you again so much for inviting me today, Commissioner. And again, I want to thank all of the CCP communicators who, again, make our city and our county as safe as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. At this time, I'd like to introduce David Hubb, who is the Executive Director of our Combined Communications Partnership.
Thank you, Commissioner. I just want to take a moment to say I'm proud to be able to stand before this group of people, and they allow me to work with them. They truly are the ones that do all the work over there. They serve this community with faithfulness and pride. They are proud of what they do. And I'm honored and humbled that we should celebrate what they do today and this week, as we do across the nation for thousands of people that are in this business. I salute you, all of you, for the work that you do. And again, thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Next, I'd like to introduce Chief Gary Grant. He's here on behalf of Sheriff David Gladio from the Sheriff's Department.
Hi, thank you for all being here today. I would really like to say personally from the Sheriff's Department how much we appreciate our communications division. Without them, we wouldn't be anywhere. They are the hub of what we do, especially for our road patrol. They keep an eye on us, they keep us safe, they make sure that we get the backup at the proper time, and the 911 calls that they receive is massive. We really appreciate them. I'm glad this week is happening for them. To echo what the mayor said, we go down there to dispatch right now, and you wouldn't believe it, the work that they have that comes in there. So we really appreciate them from the Sheriff's Department, and the Sheriff is very appreciative of them also. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. At this time, I'd like to introduce the Fort Wayne Police Department Chief, Steve Reed.
Thanks for everybody for being here today. Just want to say thank you to all of our dispatchers, call takers, our admin personnel. These folks behind us, those folks working today right now, taking 911 calls, those who aren't with us here today, maybe a day off, they're our lifeline. You know, when my officers call in, they're answering. They're getting that additional help on scene. And I know they do it for all of us, the fire department, the EMS. So again, just want to say thank you to all of you. Appreciate it.
And the next would be Chief of the Fort Wayne Fire Department, Eric Leahy.
Okay. Being fifth in line, there's not much else that needs to be said. Or I should say, I'm standing over there thinking, what am I going to say? And then everybody who went before me said it. So I feel sorry for Gary, who's up after me. But what I will say is this. What most people don't realize about our dispatchers is that oftentimes when they're on the other line of that phone call, their job is sometimes more traumatic than what we experience out in the field. And so it's hard to communicate that effectively to the general public, but what I will tell all of you is that us here in uniform know that, we appreciate it, and we say thank you for it. And then one other thing I want to add, which doesn't probably get enough press that I believe, is that one way in which we measure our community and the success of public safety in our community is through our ISO rating. Fort Wayne is one of 11 communities in the state of Indiana that have an ISO rating of 2. 1/3 of that rating is based off of the work that these people do back here. So in addition to the fire department, our city utilities department, the CCP contributes greatly to that ISO rating, which lowers our insurance ratings and insurance premiums for everyone in the community. So for that, I say thank you.
And last but not least is Gary Boer from the Three Rivers Ambulance Authority. Gary.
Thank you. Like everyone else said, thank you for coming today, and thank all of you for what you do. I don't think the general public really understands what these people behind me do. So many times they think it's just picking up a phone, getting an address, sending a police car, a fire truck, an ambulance. It's much, much more than that. They are actually your first line of help. When you dial 911 and they pick up the phone, they're there to help you. There are many things they can do while that police car, that ambulance, that fire truck is en route that you have no idea. So many times we hear people complain about, well, why do they ask so many questions? And especially in our case, as far as EMS, our controllers are asking a lot of questions, but it's valuable information that we relay to the medics en route to you. The other thing that our controllers do is, in many cases, they can start first aid with the bystander, with the 911 caller, and teach them how to do CPR, for an example, to save a life until an ambulance gets there. We want to assure the public, though, that while you're on the phone with our controllers or with any of the dispatchers, it's not time wasted. It's very valuable time, and while you're on the phone answering questions, another dispatcher, another controller is simultaneously sending that ambulance, that squad car, or that fire truck. So please stay as calm as possible and realize they probably have the toughest job because they can't touch you. They can't help you by seeing you. They can only do it by voice. Thank you. It takes a very special person to do what they do.
A lot of thank yous today, but these folks are truly the behind-the-scenes unsung heroes of our community. They're first responders, as Gary mentioned, and they're there to serve, and they do a wonderful job doing that. Hats off to all of you.
A special salute to these committed and dedicated professionals whose work helps ensure the safety and security of Allen County citizens. I'm Mike Green, Public Information Officer in the Allen County Commissioner's Office. Thanks for watching this edition of County Line.